the landings are ready. They are ready. They are ready to land. They are ready to assist us. They are ready to make sure that all the new technology is released, and the Illuminati has to take their matrix and go off to some other place. But there has to be a majority energy field of people that are ready to move into a fifth-dimensional reality. So one of the things that people will be getting is they'll be getting the Preparing for First Contact book. What I wanted to do in kind of preparation is to just have everybody take a moment, and I'll do it first as an example, but just take a moment. And the thing is, a message, yeah, of course I'm making it a long message, but a short message has more power because people don't have to listen so long. They have a better chance of retaining it. Therefore, I'm going to just, all of us take a moment and focus on our attitude, our experience of first contact ideations. Whether if you think, well, that's ridiculous, it's never going to happen, that's perfectly fine, because everybody has a right to be and feel and know whatever they do. I'm just going to take a moment. Let's all take a long, slow, deep breath. And we'll each just take a little bit, and we're going to, almost like those stories that one person talks, the next person talks, the next person talks, and it creates a story. That's how the truth gets around. One person tells a person who tells a person who tells a person. My first example of knowing that I wasn't here alone was a golden light that I used to hang around with and play with when I was little. And then always knowing that there was somebody or something that lived up there. So what would you say your baseline of this type of experience is from?
I suppose mine began as an innate knowing as a child that there's much more to life than meets the eye. The expansiveness was just a feeling that I had inside, and it was confirmed as I was having experiences of, dreams, visitations throughout my whole life, but I forget and then recall and remember.
As a child, I had to go to bed early, really early, but I didn't really mind because I knew I was every night I went to heaven to play with the angels and with Jesus and sit on a table, and so it's always be there every evening.
My first memory knowing is a bright blue light that I always saw, and I still see it. And yeah, it's like my companion. I can't remember talking to the blue light, but perhaps I did as a child. And now I do talk to my blue light. I'm consciously talk to my blue light.
I didn't really know until I was about 38. But when I was young, I used to see like orbs around the electrical lines. And I thought that, that's kind of strange. I guess that they were using the energy to manifest that, because I couldn't really see. I couldn't experience that at that time. That was the best that I could see at that time. But I kind of blocked everything out most of my life. Kind of, I think, on purpose. That's pretty much it. I had another incident where I cracked my head open and my mother heard me even though I was miles and miles away. But I still didn't connect the dots until later on.
I guess I would say ever since I was little, I'd always seen like spirits and ghosts and, outline of either shadowy figures or in light. So I always knew that there existed something on a different plane, I guess you could say. But it wasn't until the past 5 years that I actually started understanding and knowing things, I guess.
When you first even started speaking about it, like excitement came to my mind. I wanted to jump up and down like a little kid. I'm like, yes.
Yes.
When I was a kid, I was very unusual. I think I was always talking to imaginary friends. My parents just thought I was very strange. I was always out in the woods. They're like, what are you doing out there? Get in. And then what came to my mind was, I don't know if I was about 7 or 8. My parents bought me the series of books, The Wrinkle in Time, and then the other series about the kids who would travel off to different planets. And I thought it was true. I didn't realize it was fiction until I was older. It seemed perfectly normal to me. I'm like, yes, exactly.
Yeah, when I was in my teens, I started having these very vivid dreams and of visitations of various kinds of ascended masters. You know, to this day, I don't know what they wanted with me, but they, ever since, you know, and there's been a lot of stuff since, but the one thing that it did was it gave me a vibration that I could always point to, and all I had to do was just somehow magically connect with self, with my higher dimensional mind, and it's always been like a lighthouse, you know, to a shipwrecked sailor. To me, that vibration. I've always been able to point myself to it when I became conscious, or, you know, in a crisis in my life. I would just find some way to, you know, whether it was going to the ocean and meditating on the beach, or crawling in a ball in a corner in a dark room, you know, to somehow get in connection with that vibration. And then I would know what I needed to do. I would need to, you know, what's next, break free from this crisis, you know, the vibrations that are holding me prisoner. And so knowing that vibration has been enough. There have been a lot of times when I've, you know, railed against, you know, how could you do this to me? How could you show me the pinnacle and then make me do all this? But I'm sure I'm not the only one. Things are better. And part of that is meeting you.
So what I'm hearing the Arcturians say is how wonderful to have a reality. If this could be what we could, you know, you're sitting waiting for the bus, you're in line to pick your kid up from something or other, you're waiting for a table at a restaurant, and you can talk about this. And this is a normal thing, that we are not the most evolved beings, and that we've had experiences with other beings, which we now know are higher versions of ourselves. And the reason why this is happening now is because we are preparing for first contact. And the preparing for first contact, that's kind of where, you know, my core comes from. All of us can be ready to move into a galactic society. Anyhow, thank you everybody so much for putting together the mosaic of our different communications. There's a you that's up there that's talking to the you down here, and yous have to get together and do what you said we were going to do. Yeah, it's not about me being a big teacher. It's about us all learning how to talk about this stuff with each other.